Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I can't be bothered. We were going to do the new Age Outlaws intro with a little bit of us, but then I
You
started
got
doing
halfway
it.
there.
Yeah. And then I started trying to do it, but then I couldn't think of how to change some of the words of the podcast. But we will be doing new things. And in the future, this podcast is staying the same. But with a little bit of spice to go with it. So we will be changing a little bit of the podcast, but we'll still be doing the podcast still on a Tuesday with everyone watching this. And we will still be giving you the greatest wrestling content ever in front of the millions.
And millions.
Thank you. Of the Robbo's Gobcast fans. Hope you guys are doing well. We are back a very, very up and down week of wrestling. We're going to go through Raw, NXT. Before we get onto Smackdown, we will be discussing the releases, the April the 15th D-Day in WWE, as it's now being called. And then we will get on to Smackdown to finish off. But before we get into that, don't forget to go and subscribe. Go and click that subscribe button on the top if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're listening to this on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify, don't forget to give us a follow where you will get notification for when we go live. And don't forget, down below in the description is a link to all of our new and old social media pages. Go and give us a follow on there. And also, there is some changes coming to the podcast very, very soon. But we're just finishing the little clinks off before we start releasing certain things that are happening from that. Right. It's been a very, very interesting week. We had the Raw after Mania. We then had NXT after Mania. Then we had the April the 15th D-Day, where we will be going through some of them, talking about what we thought of their roles that they had in WWE. And we will go on from there. And then we will go on to Smackdown, where we will discuss the new commentator, a new feud that could be happening, and just who we think is the best on there as well. So, right, Prince Ali is here. The king of all marks that likes to trigger everyone is here. Welcome. How are you, young man?
I'm very good, thank you.
Good. Shall we get into it?
That's why I'm here. Let's
Sometimes
go.
I wonder why you're here. So,
how could I say something about you, to be honest?
no, fuck you. So, after what you told me before we started recording, right? So, anyone that's watching this or listening to this, right? So, before we start recording, he goes to me. He saw a picture the other day or the other week of Braun Strowman before he was in WWE. So, if you're watching this or listening to it right now, after I finish my sentence, pause this and go and look at it. Or watch it and go look at it. Basically, go and Google Braun Strowman before WWE. And I think it's like the first picture with him wearing a hat. Right? So off you go. Go and Google it.
Oh, God.
Right, now you've Googled it. According to him, that's me. That's
you have to look at a picture. To be fair, you have to look at you. You have to compare it to a picture where you didn't have any hair as well, and you had no beard and everything, and you can definitely see a bit of resemblance.
There's a reason why I've grown my beard, and there's a reason why I now have hair, head of hair, for it. Right, let's get into Monday night.
Now you got to do is hit the gym. I was saying, now you got to do is just hit the gym, and you can be mini Braun or medium Braun.
I'm more like at the moment. I'm extra large Braun.
You like the cross between medium and extra large?
I am the what is it? I am the what's it called? There's something going wrong with whatever's going on with my laptop at the moment. So while I just go and try and fix that, hopefully that's now working. Let me just check. Yeah, it's working. Okay, cool. I've just tried to change the setup of my laptop, but it's got a bit wrong. But anyway, so let's get into it. We kicked off the show with Riddle on his scooter talking to Bobby Lashley. And then they had a match.
Yeah.
Basically, Bobby Lashley destroys Riddle. where he gets a little bit of offense in, but destroys him, and then that's it.
I mean, like the way I see it, you can't at this point. Lashley can't really afford any like loss or any taking any
No.
offense for anyone.
I get. But Riddle.
I mean, the way I see it, Matt's going to bounce back one way or another anyway, so it's not a big deal for him as much as you think.
I think the only good thing about that match was that Bobby Lashley stopped the birds flying.
I've been hearing a lot of people complaining about that. Even I thought it was a bit random as well, to be honest.
It's fucking weird.
if you heard what Jim Cornette said, he said he's got birds flying out of his ass.
Yeah.
Oh my days.
Yeah. I wasn't a big fan of that. I'm not gonna lie. I think it was very, very poor booking, because you've got a legitimate babyface that could probably hang with Lashley and give him that babyface option, but at the same time, he's just come off a loss at WrestleMania against Sheamus, in which was a very hard-hitting, very, very, very good match. To him to lose like that, it's a bit. I'm not a big fan of that at all. I'm not a big fan of it
I'm
at
not
all.
gonna lie. I'm not a big fan of it myself as much, but I think that at the same time, you've got to understand is that anyone you're putting in front of Lash at this point, they have to basically mince meat for him at this point. It can't be a challenge. It has to be someone who's at least Drew McIntyre-esque, who can really be the challenge for Lashley at this point. I don't want to see anyone who's less than that, getting, unless it's Brock Lesnar, of course. It has to be someone within that range that can, at least compete with Lashley. And we've seen, Matt, do it with him before anyway, so it's not like it's a big shocker to me as much. I just think that the story could be that Matt's just got a little bit soft, and he's, because he's been too funny lately, he's kind of lost his edge. That's why he's got to stop. They could work on that anyway. So I'm not too fussed about that as much. But that said, I'm not going to lie, that Raw wasn't exactly
Raw was shit.
Well, Raw, I mean, you'd expect it to be the Raw after Mania to be the one that everyone.
Yeah,
you'll
look, I was very much in two minds. I watched it live.
All right.
I was like, right, Raw after Mania. I haven't slept that much all week. Might as well keep up with the non-sleep and just carry on with it and watch it. So I stayed up and watched it go. Raw after Mania, surprises, returns could happen. I think the only good return, or maybe the only return, was the War Raiders, or Viking Raiders, I think they're called now.
War Machine.
War Machine, the War Raiders experience. I think they were called at one point.
No, it was the Viking experience. I think.
Yeah, which are back, and I'm very happy they're back. I loved the tag team. I did pop a bit when I saw them. I was like, and then all the lights went out, and I heard that drum, and I was like, oh yes, they're back. And I was like, oh, okay, that's good. And then I was very excited for them to come back, and then it died out for a bit, quite heavily, and then yeah, go on.
No, what were you saying? Sorry,
I said, look, War Raiders were good, and it died out for a bit. And then Charlotte Flair come back, and I want to get your opinion on this. Well, when I say Charlotte Flair's back, she wasn't at Mania, which...
Well, she'd been gone for a few weeks. She had COVID apparently as well.
It was one of those where it's multiple reports. One saying she had COVID. Well, she said she had COVID, but COVID was off, I think, 2 weeks before Mania. There was also talk that the only way that Andrade would get his 90-day non-compete clause would be if Charlotte missed out on Mania, which...
It could be a bit of both, to be honest. I mean, we'll never know the full situation.
No.
But to answer your question, how I felt about it, I don't know about you, but I kind of liked the promo she cut, because it really looked like she was just taking a massive shoot against everyone, like not just the fans. The online, smart marks. It was also like everyone at the back and everything. I can see why it annoyed people, but that's the point. That's what you want to do. You want to trigger everyone. You want them to be like, oh my god, she's speaking to me. She knows what we're thinking, kind of thing. And I think that's what she thinks. I've always thought she's a great heel. I think she's a better heel than she's ever been as a face.
It's interesting because if you listen to the promo when she was saying it wasn't because of this, it was for the people in the back and to all the women out the back that were saying Charlotte Flair's not on Mania, yeah, and doing all of that, I thought, yeah, something's hit a nerve with her, and she's now going out there. I think
I saw.
the difference between her and what I feel when I see people like Rhea and Asuka or anyone like that is her scripts. She hasn't got one. She's got bullet points, it looks like, and they go, right, go out there and just say how you feel. And she does, and she nails it easily.
I saw a lot of people criticizing Rhea's promo on Raw, which to be honest, I didn't really think much about it as well, but I can see why. But at the same time, like, I'd say just give her a little while. She's still new to it. I mean, she's still young. She's only she's been on NXT for a bit. Her promos on NXT when that special was always just her yelling a little bit and everything. But I say give her time. She'll get there. She's just adjusting to the new main roster. But one thing I do want to mention, I saw a lot of people criticizing Charlotte's appearance and everything, and I'm just like, the way I see it, I can see why you're saying it, but at the same time, she looks good, she looks healthy. What's there to complain about? Oh, she had work done and everything. Guess what? It's her choice. It's not anything to do with you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And all those people that criticize people's appearances haven't got enough thing to do on their own. They probably hide behind account of a troll account where they you don't actually see their face. So there's probably a reason why we don't see your face. It's because it's fucking ugly.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
No, but the thing is though, like it's one of those things where I don't like people just dig for every opportunity just to take a shot at someone. It's really just
okay. So
pathetic.
I want to ask you this question: Rhea Ripley versus Asuka. Rhea looks very rusty, which is quite weird. She's making.
What do you mean?
She's making quite a few mistakes in the ring, botching quite.
I didn't notice
the ring. There was a one time where she tried to pick her up on the shoulders and it went really wrong. And there was another time during the match where she's made a few mistakes in it.
I need to be fair with you as well. I didn't catch up on Raw and NXT and on Smackdown until Saturday because I was so busy last week. I had a lot of crap in. So I might have rushed through a few things.
So, for my opinion, I think people need to sort of sit back and look at the whole situation. She hasn't wrestled in, I think it's 6 months. I think before Mania it was about 6 months. 4 months, I think it was, maybe a little bit longer. She's going to be rusty. You're not going to sit on that sideline for that long and come back and be fucking fly through the ropes of doing everything.
Are you talking about the Raw after Mania or at Mania? Because Mania was quite on point. Really?
Both. Yeah.
I don't think she was. I thought at Mania she had a good match.
Mania, there was a couple of spots that I saw and I have seen that were a bit. But Raw after Mania was very poor. And people were digging her out on the internet as well for things that she supported or what she's done before.
What do you mean?
I think it was wasn't she? No, that was Raquel Gonzalez that they're trying to bury now as well. But there were certain things that she has done years, many moons ago that people are now digging up and trying to throw back at her. It's just like, look, shut the fuck up.
I know that they've been calling out Raquel for being a Trump supporter because no one's got anything else better to do. And I know that I know that Rhea did use the I don't want everyone to say the word because I don't want to trigger them, but she did say the word faggot on a live show once. I know that was that what they were talking about, was it?
No, it was something else. But she's apologized for that. I can't remember, but you can Google it and go on. But look, Rhea Ripley is going to be an excellent talent. She's 24 years old at the moment. She's won every women's title apart from the NXT tag titles and the WWE tag titles. She has won every Grand Slam women in each division she's been in. So I think you've got to realize that she is only 24. You are going to make mistakes, but at the same time, she has the biggest amount of potential in wrestling that I think people just need to chill.
I think is this the problem with these marks online? Is I noticed that they'll be like this when somebody's young and upcoming. They'll big them up. They'll put all the hype on them, and then as soon as they just get a little push, I'm not talking about Rhea, but just even a little push onto the main roster, all of a sudden they all turn against them, and it's just like, oh, she was overrated, oh, whatever, like the
I'll
norm.
tell you what, that little push goes on to there's something in NXT that I agree with you what you just said just then. But before we get into that, there was to finish off Raw because nothing fucking else happened. To finish off Raw, it was the triple threat: Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, and Braun Strowman. The winner would face Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania Backlash, that it's now called.
I'm not against that, to be honest. I don't really have a problem with it. I mean, it kind of makes sense because it's the aftermath of.
Yeah, but you don't need to put WrestleMania in there. We fucking know it's the Backlash after Mania.
I mean, I might be the first one to say this, but I never really thought Backlash as in the Backlash after Mania. I just thought of it as Backlash to pay-per-view. I never really thought of it like that.
See, you are the category of what WWE aim for.
Well, they're doing their job right.
They are. Good point.
Anything.
So nothing substance happened. And at the end, Drew McIntyre pinned Randy Orton to win to go on to WrestleMania Backlash for the WWE Championship. Long-term booking that is a part of, where last Backlash last year, it was Lashley versus Drew for the WWE title. But we talked about that now. It was a good match. Well done. Whatever. I want to talk about Bray Wyatt. And I want to talk about The Fiend.
And
I want to talk about Alexa Bliss.
Why not?
Are you as confused as what I am?
With the Fiend storyline?
Yeah, I'm confused.
I don't know, to be honest. I'm kind of one of those guys that tries to think outside the box when it comes to these sort of things.
Yeah, I try to as well, but I think it's a good. So Alexa Bliss has now got a little friend called.
From what I'm thinking, let me say from what I think it's going to be. I think that it's going to be that she's gained her own sort of power from it, and a new little friend is going to evolve into something else. So I think it's going to be a bit of something. She's basically grown on her own and has basically moved away from the Fiend, if that makes sense. I think that's where it's going to go.
But then, when you move the Fiend onto a different show,
that could be happening.
And also at the same time, I've seen reports and I've seen different things of this and that. Do you think that little Judith or Julie or whoever that little creepy fucking doll is, Lily, do you think that will turn into Nikki Cross?
Well, I did say she might be bringing something with us, so it could be. That's not a bad idea. It'd give Nikki something to work with. And for some reason, the Chelsea club just told me that Thomas Tuchel's in the press conference. Not right now. Thank you.
Yeah, you and your Super League twatty head. Anyway, carry on. We're not discussing that.
Hey, that's nothing to do with me. That's what Bromovich did, not me.
We're not discussing that. Right, so Alexa looks like now she's extracted this energy from the Fiend, but could have...
Yeah.
Alexa, stop. I'm not talking to you. But I know. She has extracted some of the energy from the Fiend and has now turned the Fiend, but then they could have played this story out that she was Sister Abigail all along.
They could have really seen it for after Mania, to be honest. I mean, like I think they really gave it away too quickly. I mean, I think there was another way they could have done it, just been give the Fiend give him a big win at Mania finally, end the feud, and we can just move on with it. But now it's just like it's never ending. You know what I mean? And it's just
I get never-ending stories because I quite enjoy never-ending stories. It's good, but you've got to do it in a way that doesn't confuse people. You've got to spot the obvious. Like, if the Fiend lost and then Alexa comes out and goes, I am Sister Abigail. I am the one with all the true power, blah, blah, blah. I get that. I get it. I understand it. But now I'm going, is Alexa now going for the Raw title? Is she going for the tag title? Is she just going to bring more TV time for women by playing with their mind?
I can see her going after Rhea Ripley.
But then at the same time, you've got Alexa going after her, which I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a stacked women's division because I think you should. But then you've now got Charlotte Flair, Asuka, and Rhea going for the title. Shouldn't you? In my opinion, in my humbled opinion, shouldn't Alexa be going for someone that isn't in the title picture that no one's really... I think she should be going after those tag titles, the NXT, after Shayna and Nia, and really use that natural superpower to... She could really do stuff with Nia and Shayna. If Shayna does that knee to the face, she just stands there and just goes... And I think that's more of an option, and build that women's tag division more. which they
To be
need to
fair,
at the moment.
yeah, I think that they've kept the titles on Shane and Knight for too long now. It's just kind of getting a bit boring with them. But at the same time, I get why it is because they're pretty much like it's like the Big Show and Kane. Back in the day when they were a tag team, they were the most dominant tag team in ages. Along with Brothers of Destruction, Kane and Undertaker. It was like that guy, like who's believable enough to take it off them and keep it off them. You know what I mean? I think that's pretty much how it is. And like the only one that would have actually been remotely close to doing that would have been someone like Raquel and Dakota, if you will. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Right, let's move
It's a
on
mud hole,
to
basically, if you will, for them at this point
yeah.
of that
I,
situation.
I look forward to see what they do next with the whole situation, but I think they're trying to make it really more complicated than what they are. And also, after that Raw, it just goes to show how shit Bruce Pritchard is at doing Raw. It just
Man, I
fuck me.
like
That's
Bruce.
terrible.
He's
He's
a funny
shit.
guy, but his booking
Keep
hasn't
him
really
on the
impressed me that much.
network. Keep him on the network to hype up like Yokozuna or The Undertaker
Mhm.
or any of those
Mhm.
documentaries, but let's get someone
He was.
indifferent to do
I remember he
creative.
was on to something a few years ago. I don't know what happened to him. He was doing something right not long. I remember. I even praised him for it, but then I don't know why he shut the bed all of a sudden.
It's just terrible, terrible booking. Right, let's move
Mm.
on to NXT. Talking of
Mhm.
when you were talking about people getting a push, like Rhea Ripley, then booing
I know what you're gonna
MSK.
say now. Yep, yep.
uh, who everyone
That
cheered
was.
at WrestleMania, at Stand and Deliver, sorry, for winning the tag titles. Everyone thought were going to be the next big thing in the tag division that they needed to do. Come out to getting booed. What?
I was so confused. I'm like you mean. I was actually legitimately. This is the thing. I'm gonna say this right now. I've never been a big fan of the NXT fans myself. I think they're loud and stuff. But they do push it too much sometimes. You know what I mean? And that's one of the occasions where I
NXT
was just like, that
fans are
doesn't really
good,
shock me as much.
are all right. The UK fans are better. Just saying. But
Even they're annoying.
I don't understand. I don't understand the logic of booing them. Like they won it fair and
Neither do
square.
I. I'm still trying to
They
think.
won the Dusty Cup. They went on to beat the grizzled young veterans and Escobar's nannies. So it makes no sense. Like I understood if they cheated their way to win it. I get it. I get a little bit of heat from
Yeah,
that. I would
but they
understand
didn't.
it.
They've
But
never done
it
that.
was clean.
They've never taken any shortcuts since they've been on the NXT. So I don't understand how it is they got booed out of nowhere. I really don't understand it.
It
You
makes
know?
no sense. But they did an excellent match against Killian
Yeah.
Dane and Drake Maverick for the titles. A clean victory, very very good. Killian Dane got most of the offensive, but then at the end of the match, the Ring Generals Imperium destroyed them. And do you know what? He deserved it anyway. He deserved it.
It's funny uh, when I saw Alexander Wolf in the same ring in the ring with Killian Dane. I actually forgot for a second though, even Insanity. Remember
Did
that
you
being
see hear Vic Joseph though? Did you hear
what?
what Vic Joseph said? I mean, I have to say,
What he said?
that was spot on. He goes, so Imperium are beating down Killian Dane, and it goes, someone needs to control this. This is becoming an insanity of a destruction. And he used
Oh right,
Sanity's name, and I went, oh, Vic, you are
I
the
didn't
goat.
realize that.
You are the goat.
Yeah,
So,
I didn't realize that.
okay,
But
so, yeah.
yeah, I forgot for a second. It was like yeah, it is because I forgot even. I wish I remember Sanity, but it's been so many years since we ever saw them. It's just like we all know what happened after that. So
So the
you
tag team
know,
division is now
mm,
stacked because Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher have both come out and said that they are aiming for the NXT tag titles as well now. That's what they're going after the loss. I don't know whether you saw this or got a glimpse of this, but Walter had a vignette.
yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I saw it.
Basically, there was something that stood out with me in that vignette that says, "If I'm not if I'm not there, Imperium will grow." And I
Yeah,
went,
I know. Yeah,
oh, okay. He's teasing something to whether he's teasing something for NXT UK or he's teasing something for NXT. But something's happened with Imperium because now they're back on telly with Marcel Bartel and Fabian Archer, Aikner, however you want to call it,
I can know.
on telly as well with Alexandra Wolf, who I still
Your
think
voice
that
is correct.
that they need to get Timothy
Yep.
Thatcher in the group. I still to really bring it all back to the beginning with them.
Look, I'm not against it myself. I'm not against myself. The thing is, though, is because they put with because they put with Ciampa, I'm kind of liking them as a tag team as well. So, a part of me wants to see them at least get a tag team goal before they break them up. You know,
I agree.
because
I
like,
think it's more
let's
personal
be,
that I want it to happen.
because for some reason I don't know what it is. For some reason, every time I see him and Ciampa together, they're like they're similar to each other. I mean, you know, Timothy's a bit more of a I don't know who you calls much more messed up by the looks of it. Like if you saw them together, you probably think Timothy's probably more messed up than Ciampa.
Yeah.
But that for some reason they seem to work well together because they have that similarity of roughness, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so
Rough around the edges kind of thing.
I'm looking forward to seeing the NXT tag division, and I have to say this NXT was a 10 out of 10 with how it's building for the future, how the new graphics look, how everything seems to be going forward. We can see that there's a plan in action for the tag team. We're going to get onto the women's now, for the men's as well. Get onto the women's. Raquel Gonzalez come out with Dakota Kai to talk about their win against Io Shirai at Stand and Deliver, and they got interrupted by the new woman in NXT, Frankie Monnier, whatever you want to call it, Frankie, Tara Valkyrie, who. I think the reason why she can't have Tara Valkyrie is because there was some third-party legal issues for her not to use it. So they used that. And can I tell you that she is bringing...
I know that.
Yeah, go on.
I was going to say, I know that on NXT UK, there's another girl who has a last name Valkyrie as well. What's her name?
Yeah, I think I know.
I think she's that little Irish bird. I can't remember her name is.
I think I know.
I remember I saw her with that the feathers and all that. Yeah, isn't it, something like that. But yeah, I think that could also be part of the reason why no one's ever said it yet. But I guess that could play in it. Can I just say this phrase because I only know a little bit about Tay anyway. I never really followed it. Like I said, I haven't watched TNA yet, so I probably knew a bit about her. And other than the fact she's married to Morrison and that she's wrestled some of the guys as well, like Brian Cage. First time I heard her talk, I had no idea she's even Latina.
Yep. So she spent a lot of time. I think the first time that she met John Morrison was in Lucha Underground, where they both were.
Oh yeah.
And she was fucking incredible. I remember watching that on it. It is just so in Lucha Underground and in Impact, what it was called. She was called. Her nickname was Tara Valkyrie da la Abuela Loca, which means the crazy bitch. It's basically what it means. But she can't use Tara Valkyrie's, but she's using the persona of the La Abuela Loca, which for me, and she did make me laugh. There was someone on her going, "You are a Canadian French." You're a Canadian French person, but you speak Spanish. And she just come back going, yes, it's called intelligence. Back to it. And I thought, yeah, I'm sold on her already. But the La Abuela Loca is going to be so good.
Well, I didn't see that.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited for her because she is so good. She is so good in the ring. I can't wait for people that really haven't followed her before to see her in the ring. In my opinion, she is the best women's wrestler in the world, by far. I've watched her in so many places, and I'm such a massive fan of hers.
I can't comment too much about it. I'm always honest. If I know someone, I know someone. I don't know. From what I've seen, I know. I've seen. I've probably seen some clips of in the ring and all that, but I can't say that I know her enough to say that she's the best. But from what I know is that she's a tough girl and everything, and she's beautiful. I'm not gonna lie. Morrison's a lucky guy. Knows how to get them, Melina and everything. You know what I mean. But yeah, I'm expecting to see her hold some championship gold soon.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do with her. Something that interesting happened after Frankie Monnier left the ring. We had the entrances of Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair come down to the ring to show off their massive wins at WrestleMania with Raquel Gonzalez
Oh yeah,
on the big title, and I think that was a poetic, beautiful moment that NXT really did deliver on.
I'm glad they did that as well. Some people will be like, oh, but they broke character and all that crap. I'm like, it doesn't matter. I think that was a special moment because it shows that they're really building up to the future and all, and actually trying to do something right for a change. So I was not against that. I thought it was a good thing they did.
Mm.
You know.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Right, let's go on to the fake cruiserweight champion actually lost his title against Kushida at the NXT after Mania. What did you think of that
Many
match?
instances I have a lot to say.
What did you think of that match? And what did you think? What did you think of Kushida finally winning a title in WWE?
I think it's a bit weird how he won the title after he just lost the match. But yeah, like I said, I'm glad they finally doing something with him. Obviously, it cost my guy his thing, but that's fine. He can move on to the NXT Championship, North American Championship, one of those things. So I'm not too mad about it. So yeah, it is what it is. Just learn to move on.
Anyway, we're back. Yeah, I will talk about afterwards. But
Yeah.
I just had to go and tell him something that I just read. For me, I think that was perfectly booked. I think it was perfectly done. I think Kushida really does need a title to see where he can take him to that next level, as well at the same time. And Escobar has become a face all of a sudden of the division or of cruiserweight after putting the title on his son and the mask and everything. He's become the face of the cruiserweight division. And I think at the same time, the way that he lost was the only way that he could lose without he can't lose cleanly because he was just in a ladder match the night before, and that would just look like, why are you just dropping the title all of a sudden
Yeah,
towards
that's true as well. When you think about
Kushida?
it.
So a roll up is something like he should have been kicking out that, but at the same time, the wear and tear from the couple of nights before, the week
Yeah.
before at Stand and Deliver and everything like that sort of protects Escobar as well at the same time.
Yeah, I think I never really thought that as well. That's actually smart when you think of it like that.
Thank you.
I suppose their story. Yeah, okay. That's all credit to you for a change. I think that's
Do it to Tommaso Ciampa. Anyway, carry on.
Yes, yeah. I was saying, yeah, that is actually true. The storytelling, there is some good storytelling there as well, actually, and there's some long-term booking in that one as well. So I suppose that makes sense in that one. And of course, you still got Jordan Devlin involved, so they can,
well, he's coming back to the UK now. He's coming back to the UK.
They teased by looks at it. But he did have a segment with Kushida, so it's possibly
he had a segment, but basically he was saying he's coming back. He's got some unfinished business back here, and it looks like as well that Mustache Mountain are back as well. With Tyler Bate and Trip 7, they're back. The tag division's looking quite stacked over there as well. They're building, and Amelia McKenzie or Millie McKenzie. As is now called Amelia in NXT UK, and she's getting a big push. She's now left Progress Wrestling, and when she's joining the NXT UK brand permanently, moving.
I wish you brought a friend with her. Charlie, what's her name? Charlie Evans.
But let's talk about the main event. Actually, I don't really care about the main event. I want to talk about one part of the main event with Dexter Lumis and Indy Hartwell. Can I just say, I fucking love this. I absolutely loved it. Every second that main event had was perfection. I think, in my opinion. Look, you have Bronson Reed, who is gonna go for the NXT North American title next. You've got the tag of Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon, who I think were in there as well with them, and Dexter Lumis, who has beef with what's happened before to end it out, but also as well with what he was thinking with Indy Hartwell, as well what's going on. And I think the way that Indy was trying to get that kiss and then Candice LeRae stopped it. She was getting more and more frustrated, and then Johnny Gargano got in the way of doing it. Then she kicked Johnny Gargano for the pin or whatever he was going for, so Dexter Lumis could see her on the floor. He then went to do it and then got attacked and then got out of the ring, and then she then got the perfect way of laying down and getting the response of Dexter Lumis to go away. I think this is going to build her character to another level. Not only that, this is going to build Dexter Lumis as well. I think this was perfection every step of the way. And the entertainment of her when she got in and he cradled her and walking backwards and she turned around with a thumbs up and smiling at everyone back at the camera in the ring. I thought, do you know what? That reminded me of AJ Lee and Kane vibes back in the day. I think that was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say I've never been so jealous of Dexter my whole life. He just walked off with a fine Australian Chilean lady with nice legs. That guy.
This is not the wrestling porn podcast. You don't have to go all bloody horny on me, you dirty bastard.
Hey, mate, I'm just saying we're all thinking, mate.
I wasn't thinking any of that. I was thinking great storytelling. None of that.
I'm sure you were.
None of that sunshine. So we're going to go now on to...
Let me just say, there's one person you forgot to mention, Cross.
Yeah, he was
that opening promo he gave.
He was on...
Mate, that crowd was cheering him more than anything, like that goes to show you how much they've been waiting to, get behind him, as a character. And I'm expecting big things from him. He also, I don't know if you saw on Instagram,
him and John Cena,
him and Scarlett as well. They both tweeted pictures of, him and Scarlett posted Cena, but Cena posted before of Cross. So it really looks like they want to have this match.
I really hope this match happens, and I hope it happens in NXT.
It's a smart thing to happen because because it needs to be like
it's gonna be hard for Cross though to wrestle him.
Why?
Because you won't be able to see him.
Oh my god, mate, where'd you come up with these things?
Twitter.
Yeah. Definitely belong on Twitter, mate. You definitely belong on Twitter.
Right. We're going to go on to the April the 15th D-Day.
Well, must be now.
Before we get onto SmackDown and before we get onto it.
All right. Okay. Go for it.
It happened.
Let me just say.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just say, I swear to God, I might have been the first. I'd been. I can't remember. I think I'd been off Twitter all day as well. That time again. It's always like just when I come off, I'm having a good day and everything. I come on and I see that, and I'm just like, I think the first people I saw go released were Mickie James and Billie Kay, and I was like, what?
Yeah. So the superstars that were released were Mojo Rawley, Bo Dallas, Kalisto, Tucker, Wesley Blake, Chelsea Green, Billie Kay, Peyton Royce, Mickie James, and Samoa Joe were released from the WWE over the culling. According to some sources, it was John Laurinaitis that was doing the cutting, and the reason for the cuts was due to budget cut.
I've seen a lot of people criticizing, Johnny Ace again as usual. But the way I see it is, you can't really criticize him. He's only doing his job. Yeah, it's not easy doing what he does. I doubt he takes pleasure in it.
We're going to go through. We're going to go through each superstar quickly because we don't want to spend too much time on it. But we're going to go through them one by one and just give a quick thought of what we think of them and where we think that they could go next. So Mojo Rawley.
Oh God,
he should have been released last year.
To be honest with you, I don't have.
I've never been. Hasn't added anything over a year.
I'm going to be fair on this one, actually. I've never been a fan of Mojo. I never liked the whole hype thing. I never liked his name he had as well. But I will say, I'm being fair. I will say, when he turned heel and he started cutting promos, I thought he was actually all right for a heel. He just needed a bit more work done. I mean, I thought he just needed to drop the name and just change character and all that. So I'll be fair on him on that. But him getting released never really bothered me as much. I'll be fair, he did make me laugh last year when he had his mate at WrestleMania, but that was about it. That said, I can see him going to most likely going to Impact. where Zack Ryder is. I wouldn't be surprised if Ring of Honor won the sign-in, but I don't know what they do with him. But you never know. But yeah, I can definitely see.
I don't understand Mojo Rawley's character either. It made no sense. I didn't like him as an in-ring performer. I didn't think he was very good.
He looked like a 40-year-old trying to be a 20-year-old whenever I
Yeah,
saw him.
it was just
That's where I
wrong.
saw it.
It was just wrong.
Yeah.
Next one, Bo Dallas. I think Vince has looked online and gone, everyone's comparing the feed was going to be Bo Dallas. I'm going to show him it's not the feed. You're fine. And then,
to be honest with you, Bo Dallas, I was surprised he was there that long as well. I think they could have still.
He hasn't had a match. I think someone has said he hasn't had a match or hasn't done anything since September.
Apparently, obviously, because him and Liv are living together, him and Liv are living together. He's going to be going into real estate next or something. So I don't know.
I did hear that he may not be doing wrestling anymore. But
which is sad, I guess. But yeah,
what he did in NXT was amazing. It's a shame that they couldn't get that character that he did in NXT to make way in the main roster.
I wasn't a big fan of him at first, but then when he did the Bo Lee thing, I don't know what happened. I just started laughing. What was on? The way JBL hyped him up as well. I think those were fun times as well. So I feel bad for Bo, but at the same time, I can see why they got rid of him. But I think that him and Break, they could have done something with that easily.
I agree. I completely agree with you. I somehow Photoshop.
But I think it's all for the best now, and I think he can move on now and do something else in life.
Kalisto.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, I've never really thought much about Kalisto. I mean, I never liked the name they gave him for a starter. I liked his own name better when he was wrestling in the Indies. He's a great worker, no question. But I remember the first thing that came to mind is they looked like they're trying to make him the next Rey Mysterio, and I could never see him replacing Mysterio.
Next one, Kalisto for me was just meh.
He's going to go back to the Indies anyway.
He'll go back to Mexico, go back to AAA and do all of that stuff. Tucker and Wesley Blake, we're going to do two at one now because Wesley Blake,
Well, I mean, I'm not going to be harsh on him. I don't want to be too harsh on him. I remember him and Buddy Murphy and Alexa when they were, in NXT, and it was fun for that time. And then after, obviously, they had the Forgotten Sons, which should have done something, but well, we know having there. He's probably just going to go on the
Tucker is just overrated.
I like Tucker, but at the same time, I'm not going to make him out like he was ever a big deal to begin with. I mean, we always knew that. I mean, I remember people were saying that once, Otis is going to break away from him, and Otis will be a bigger star, and Tucker will just be, forgotten. And it makes me laugh how he's online. I mean, I feel bad for him getting fired. I know he's going to have a break, but things will work out anyway. But I'm laughing at how he's doing the whole it's because of the old man and all this and that kind of shit.
He's going the Ryback route, which has just made me. I know you want to talk about this one.
He made me laugh when he took that picture of him having a split, being like making lemonade. That did make me laugh in my life.
I know that you want to talk about this one, Chelsea Green.
Oh man, I feel bad for Chelsea. I'm going to keep it simple. I think that she never really got an opportunity that she should have. And when she did it was always like either COVID or injury. And I think there was so much potential there to make her into a star. She looks like one, she carries herself like one. It's just, it's just always just bad timing with her. And I don't think she's done even with WWE as well. To be fair, I think she'll just take off for a few years or so, get some time with Impact, even maybe AEW if that's where she really wants to go for a bit, and then maybe she'll. I'm going to say for everyone. No, there's never say never when it comes to it. They can always come back after a while when things are better. So, same with Chelsea, same with everyone else. That's all I'm going to say. And the same with Mickey James as well. I know you're going to say.
We're going to say this, and we're going to say this probably once. I don't get Chelsea Green at all. I don't get her character. Don't get her in-ring ability. I don't get what the hype was around her. I was excited to see her in NXT. But she didn't really do anything in NXT for me to really get behind and believe in her.
Because they didn't use her the way they should have. They just used her as someone who got cheap wins. That's why. Which I know she's more than that as well. Because I've seen some of her.
But you say that they use her for cheap wins, but she's not there. She's not got it. She's
I
not the
reckon
character that she's not got the character. She has not got the look. There's only one reason why she got into WWE, and that was one reason and one reason only.
you can say because she has the looks.
No. Zack Ryder. He probably did his one last favor for her to get in there. Look, she's not got the ability. Could she go away and come back and do it? Most probably. But I can't see her. I think she is now going off on the indies with Zack Ryder and doing their own thing. I don't think that them two will ever come back. And rightly so. Zack Ryder can't wrestle, and she's just going to be a puppet to him anyway. So
no, Ryder's a good wrestler.
No, he's not.
He's
No, he's not.
come on, man.
He's not.
He's good.
I've watched him outside of WWE since he's left, and he's not good.
What I'm trying to say is that he's never been anything above a mid-carder.
No, he's not even a mid-carder. I watched him on Impact recently, and he had a full-on one-on-one match with, my opinion, one of the up-and-coming stars, Ace Austin, in the wrestling industry. And he come in and had a match, and it was terrible. Ace Austin had to carry him through the match, and that just goes to me why he would never have made it. And there, let's go on to the next two, who I was very shocked. But then when I heard about the reason for them leaving, I get it. Billy Kay and Peyton Royce.
Man, that one hit me hard
According
as
to
well.
some reports, according to some people, the reason why them two have left is because Kevin Dunn could not get his head around what type of character these are, and he doesn't think that they were good enough to be in WWE. I'm sorry, what?
I'm just think as soon as I said Kevin Dunn, I'm just not going to get into this one because I know that it's just going to be if that's what
What? How can a man sit there in front of his TV and on social media as well and look at Billy Kay? Billy Kay got nothing. She literally got nothing, and she made it the best, most entertaining thing you should have got.
Yeah,
she got bigger calls to be host of WrestleMania more than bloody Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, I agree. But
I just.
I know, I agree. It doesn't make any sense from my side as well. And the same way I'm debating Peyton Royce as well. I don't know why you'd fire her, why let her go when she literally had, she cut one of the best promos.
She cut one of the best promos, but the only thing with Peyton Royce that I struggle with sometimes is her in-ring ability. It's the same with Billy Kay as well. I struggle to see. They're very good on the mic. They're the most entertaining women in WWE. They can take a women's tag team division by talking to another level. But if you're going by in-ring ability, they're not there. Then they're not there. I think the best thing that they can do is, I think Peyton Royce is going as Casey Lee now, and she's going. Yeah. She's definitely going to end up in AEW on 31st of May, I think. Sorry, where the 90-day no clause is over. Where Sean Spears is right now. Tyler Dillinger, her husband, is out there. Look, Billy Kay, I think, can go anywhere she wants. I think I would like to see the icons reunited and go. And look, there's a massive tag team division going now in the women's division in Impact. I'd love to see them two end up in Impact and really do take that women's tag team division to the next level. I don't want to see them on AEW. I want to see them on Impact, and I want to see them in New Japan. I want to see them go and crack Japan, because I think their character would be interesting, and the in-ring ability will help them get better if they go to New Japan more than they will AEW.
I would have thought Stardom, to be fair, because I don't know anything about Stardom myself. I know that's where a lot of women seem to be going as well.
That's another great women's doing it. Mickie James has been released, rightly or wrongly so. I think it was coming because she hasn't actually done anything for a very long time. She did the commentary on Stand and Deliver pre-show. She did it on there, and I think they were tested to see whether she could maybe do some commentary in the future. It didn't look like it didn't work out. I don't see her going to AEW. I see her going to Impact or NWA with her husband, Nick.
I was going to say NWA as well. To be honest, I felt bad for Nikki, but Mickie. I felt bad for Mickie what happened there, because I think that they could have done much with her, but at the same time, I think there's probably more to do with injuries and all that. They lost the interest. I was hoping that she'd be the reason why Nick Aldis would finally join, because because I've said it for years. I've always thought Nick Aldis would be the perfect guy to build NXT UK around.
Mm-hmm.
He literally ticks all the boxes for what a star looks like, from the suit to the presentation, his ring skills. I've said that numerous times. He's the perfect guy to be the face of NXT UK. But obviously, that looks like it may never ever happen now.
Right, and lastly, but no means least, the biggest name to go was Samoa Joe.
I'm in two minds with this one, because I have to be honest with you. The problem with Joe was that if you have to look at when he came to the main roster, how many times was he injured on the injured list, on the injured shelf?
Yeah.
How many times? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He didn't make it easy for himself.
The issue is Samoa Joe is so good on the mic.
That's the thing.
Why would you not put him, if he's not going to wrestle and his injuries are not going to get in the way, and you don't want to do commentary and you want to revamp it like they did with the new guy from Major League Baseball come in and take over? Then you got Corey Graves and Byron Saxton on Raw, and now you've got we were going to get into in a minute the new SmackDown commentary team. Why don't you pair him with someone? Why don't you put him with the Tribal Chief? Why not put him on Raw and put him with 2 or 3 youngsters that are coming through that have the potential to be the next big thing, but let him do the talking and do what MVP type thing's doing?
Yeah, when you're losing signal again.
No, that's you, my man.
Yeah, you're losing signal on your side. I can't hear you.
Oh no, I'm fine. My side, it's your side. All right, let me just pause the recording. Yeah, so Samoa Joe, we were saying that I just don't. And look, Samoa Joe is one of the biggest talents you're going to get in the world, and I think for Joe being released has really got the fingers wet or the lips wet on so many wrestlers right now that will want to face him. He will go to AEW. That's a given. He is going to go to that brand, and he's going to take that brand to another level. The issue,
I'd rather him go to Impact or New Japan, to be honest.
Yeah, I would as well. But he's going to go to AEW because of Taz, because of all the superstars that are there that are going to make it to another level. I think he's going to go there, and I think he's going to go. And it's also got the lip sweat of CM Punk. He's already said he would love to wrestle Samoa Joe as well. So could that be a trigger to CM Punk coming back to wrestling? I don't know. I would like to see Samoa Joe go to Impact and go back to what he built and take that to another level than what it's on a Thursday night. But New Japan as well. He was a big star in New Japan as well.
I don't know about that, but I know that he had some crazy. So I was watching one of his matches the other day with what was it again? Kenta Kobashi, mate. That match, yeah, you've seen it.
I've seen highlights. I've seen like bits of it.
Watch that match. Just watch it. You don't even need to. There was no story there. There was no build up there. It was literally just a match that was put together on the fly, and definitely some of the best wrestling I've ever seen. That's all I'm going to say.
So, go on.
Yeah, I was going to say, to me, I think Joe. I'd love to see Joe in Japan. Wrestling. Okada, Jeff Cobb. I've always thought was a younger version of Joe, somewhat. Juice, all these guys. I'd rather see him in the ring with those guys, in all honesty. But Joe will do what Joe wants to do, and I don't think he's got a problem with money as well. He's made a fair amount of money over the years with WWE, so I think he'll be okay for a while.
Yeah. Right, let's get on to Friday Night SmackDown. Let's get onto this and do this quite quickly.
Oh man, but there's one thing I've got to mention. There's only one match I'll always wish that we could have got, which would have been heel Roman versus Joe.
Yeah.
Also, Joe versus Cena. That is a match I wish we could have gone.
Yeah. Right, Friday Night SmackDown. There is a new commentator with Michael Cole in Pat McAfee, who I thought was quite ironic. I don't know whether you saw the intro video for him hyping to be the new commentator, and right at the end, Vince McMahon is there going, "Pat McAfee, you're hired." I think that triggered a lot of people because the day before he announced people were being sacked. But I found that quite funny. Going on there. I think and there's a lot of talk that they're going to let Pat do what Pat does best, and that's just talk. and hype things up the way that he does. There's a lot of talk they're just going to leave him to it. There's words that he can't use that we all know about, but he will get used to that. But
Which words?
he said wrestling. You're not allowed to say wrestling on WWE TV. And if you heard him, he said wrestling. I went, oh no, sorry. On commentary, I was like, perfect.
Thing is that they've kind of, I swear they've also been a bit lenient with the word wrestling as well, because I've heard loads of people use it. So I don't know if it might just be, they can't use it to some extent, but I mean, it depends, I guess, who's saying it.
Yeah, I agree.
But I will say this: when Pat, was on when Pat was doing his commentary, and I heard him. As soon as I saw him doing his thing, I was like, "That's definitely them letting Pat do his thing."
Yeah.
And when I saw Roman make his entrance and Pat was doing his commentary for it, I was like, "That would be the perfect Batman for Roman from now on."
Yeah, do you know what the thing what made me laugh as well is if Pat was doing his first night on SmackDown and he got attacked by Adam Cole and he got the words would have just been, "I just can't get rid of you, can I?" That would have been interesting. Now if Adam Cole goes to SmackDown,
I reckon
get a feud with that.
This would be an opportunity for them to even bring in, Pat's team from NXT. This could be the perfect chance to bring them in as well. I can see it happening that way because I remember Pat was saying that there's no plans for them to move up yet. But I think with Pat on SmackDown, it's the opportunity. The opportunity is there now to bring in Oni and P and Danny when he's eventually healed up.
Yeah,
I think it's the opportunity is there now.
It'd be interesting to see where they go. Big story point of SmackDown. Well, one of them. The Street Profits lost cleanly to Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler, the Dirty Dogs.
I still can't get over that name.
No. The Dirty Dogs as the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. But they get overshadowed by, let's talk about it, Bianca Belair. How good does she look with that title? It's like made for
as they say in America, $1 million.
You can see there's a new rejuvenated attitude, should we say, of Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. Sasha Banks, sorry, and Bayley after her win at WrestleMania. Are we going to be seeing at WWE WrestleMania Backlash the rematch between Sasha Banks and Bianca? Or are we going to see something different?
I think it's most likely going to be the rematch, unless they want to do that on SmackDown TV and then they bring up somebody for her to face at Backlash. So
there was talk it's going to be Io Shirai. I have heard that Io Shirai could be the one of the people being called up as well.
The thing is, though, would you really want to call her up and have her lose on a big pay-per-view? That's the thing. I don't know if that's the smart way to go. I mean, it's the same. It reminds me of when they brought in Shinsuke years ago. They brought him in and just 3-4 months into his debut, they had him in the ring with Jinder when he was just fresh off his victory. When he was still fresh as a champion. And I mean, I don't think it's never a good idea in my opinion to bring in. They did the same with Adrian Neville when he came in 2 weeks into his Raw debut. They had him face Seth Rollins and he lost that one. I don't see it ever as a good idea to bring in someone fresh and have them lose like that. You know what I mean? So
it all depends on the loss. It all depends on the loss. Is it going to be a clean loss? Is it going to be a loss that is going to show both of their characters of who they are?
Personally, to me, I think it's better to keep them away from a title, and put them in that spot when they're actually ready for it. That's my take on it.
Yeah. And lastly, at the end or during the show, Roman stood in the ring face to face with the Swiss Cyborg.
I wish I didn't see that picture because I saw a picture of it before I even saw the show. I was like, oh, why did I see that now? When I saw that moment, I was like, I don't know about you, but I was getting gassed for that. I was like, that's what I've been waiting to see. And I can tell you this right now, if that was in front of a live audience, that would have been deafening. I can picture right now, they'd have had them in the ring, and I can imagine Roman just giving, Cesaro 5 minutes just stood there, and then just walking out and letting a chorus of boos take him off. I can picture it. That would have been the perfect moment scenario.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't know whether because Seth Rollins attacked him at the end, so I think it's not going to be a one-on-one match at
I
Backlash. But
think
I feel like they might
I
be pushing
disagree.
Cesaro for Money in the Bank.
I think that too as well, which I think is also a smart move. I think the smart thing to do would be keep Cesaro. They've planted, if you will, they've planted a seed now for a potential.
Mhm.
So now what they can do is they can use Seth Rollins as the guy that's keeping him away from it in the meantime to keep their feud going for a little bit longer. But we know that Cesaro is definitely going to be heading for that
Yeah,
for the big gold next because putting him on him. So I think it's long term booking basically.
exactly. And probably when he gets the title, some fans will probably try and cancel him. So
I've already commented about that on tweeted on one of these guys' pages. I said it straight as soon as he wins it, people will be complaining.
yeah,
Oh, he's another muscle guy. Oh, he's too old. Oh, he's overrated and all that.
yeah.
Push our little indie guys. It'll happen.
Vince is
But fuck him.
pushing him to the moon. We should not support that. He's being pushed. Blah blah blah. Anyway,
I would love to see Cesaro get a long reign just to see how pissed off the IWC get so quickly.
it could be interesting.
That's all
Right,
I'm gonna say.
that's the end. Thank you guys ever so much for joining us, you beautiful people. Where we will be back next week. So next week's episode is going to be a little bit special. We're not going to round up the news unless there's something big that happens. But next week, me and Gulam has to do this, is we are going to create night 1 and night 2 of WrestleMania 38, where the current WWE Raw and SmackDown superstars, maybe a hint of and NXT. We're not going to be predicting as in if we're going to be saying these are the matches. We're going to be putting together our dream matches that we want to see happen on WrestleMania 38. That's the episode. We're just going to be doing our night 1, and it's currently going to be a one-night WrestleMania, which I really hope that they change their mind and change it to fucking 2 nights because it made my sleep a lot better. So
yeah,
that we're going to be doing what we think WrestleMania 38 night 1 and night 2 are going to look like. It's in Dallas, Texas. Oh hell yeah! So we're going to be doing that. So go and check that out next week. Apart from that, thank you guys ever so much for joining. Don't forget to go and smash that like button so more and more people will be able to see this video, and share it with all your friends and family and everyone to go check us out. And we will see you guys very, very soon. All love and all care, and bye.
see ya.